Hey everyone, welcome back to Mind, Body, Spirits. I'm Nikki, and today we're talking about something that affects all of us: how to manage your emotions, your health, and even your finances while you're interacting with others, whether it's at work, with friends, or even when you're getting to know someone new.
Hey, I'm Chloe, and I'm really excited for today's topic because let's face it, we've all been in situations where we want to do our best, we want to make people happy, but sometimes we end up overreacting, pleasing others too much, or letting our boundaries slip. And that can affect us emotionally, physically, and even financially, right?
Exactly. And the thing is, managing all these aspects of ourselves doesn't mean being perfect. It's about finding that balance, not overreacting, but also not giving away too much of yourself, especially in environments where you're still getting to know someone or trying to build a connection.
Exactly, Nikki. So today we're going to share some practical tips that you can apply every day to stay balanced, protect your energy, and avoid getting caught up in unhealthy dynamics, whether at work or in your personal life.
Okay, let's start with emotional balance. One of the biggest things we struggle with is not letting our emotions get the best of us, especially when we feel like someone is testing our patience or making us feel uncomfortable. So, Chloe, do you keep yourself from overreacting when someone says or does something that rubs you the wrong way? Ooh, this is a big one. I think for me, it all comes down to pausing. Whenever something happens that triggers me,
I take a deep breath and pause before reacting. I remind myself I don't need to respond right away. And if I'm upset or angry, I don't try to immediately fix it or say something I might regret. I step back and process my emotions first. I love that.
pausing is such a powerful tool. I used to jump straight into defense mode thinking I had to fix everything or address it in the moment. But now I'll just say, let me think about this for a minute. It gives me the space to respond thoughtfully instead of just reacting. Exactly, Nikki. And that's really where emotional
Intelligence comes in, knowing that you can control your response, even if you can't control the situation. For example, at work, if a colleague says something that feels a little dismissive, instead of jumping in with a sarcastic response or immediately agreeing with them to avoid conflict, I take a moment to assess the situation. Does it really matter? Is it
worth my energy to get upset over it? Yes, choosing your battles is a huge part of emotional management. And also remembering that not everything needs to be addressed right away. Sometimes just letting things slide is the healthiest choice. That way, we save our emotional energy for things that really deserve it.
Now let's talk about physical balance because it's just as important as emotional balance. We all know that feeling when you're emotionally drained from dealing with people, and that can affect your body too, right? How do you manage your energy physically when you're dealing with people or situations that are wearing you down?
Down. That's such a good question. For me, it starts with setting boundaries. And I don't mean just with other people, but with myself too. If I'm already feeling drained, I won't force myself to take on more than I can handle. If I'm in a work situation that's mentally exhausting, I make sure to take breaks. I'll step away from my desk, get some fresh air, or even just close my eyes for a couple of minutes. It's all about recharging when you need it.
Yes, rest is key, whether that's taking a mental break or making sure you're getting enough sleep. But also, physical activity can make a huge difference. If I'm feeling stressed, I'll go for a walk or do some yoga. Even something small like stretching or moving around helps release that.
That physical tension and makes me feel more grounded. That's such a good point. And don't underestimate the power of nutrition either. Sometimes when I feel sluggish or overwhelmed, it's because I haven't eaten properly. Keeping your energy up with good food and staying hydrated can really affect how you manage stress and difficult interactions.
Absolutely. And sometimes we forget that our bodies are part of the equation. If we're emotionally drained and physically exhausted, we're less likely to make good decisions or respond calmly. So we have to take care of ourselves physically too.
Okay, let's move on to something that's really important: financial balance. We don't often talk about it, but our financial health can be affected by how we manage our relationships. If we're too pleasing or not setting boundaries, it can lead to overspending or financial strain, whether at work, with friends, or even in a romantic relationship.
Oh, for sure. I think one of the biggest things here is learning how to say no, especially when it comes to finances. If someone asks you for something, whether it's lending money or taking on a financial responsibility that you can't afford, it's okay to set that boundary. Don't feel pressured to please others with your finances just because you think it'll make them happy.
Exactly. And I think it's also about knowing your limits and prioritizing what's really important. Like if a friend is always asking to borrow money, or if you're being asked to cover something at work that's outside of your responsibility, it's important to assess the situation. You don't have to say yes just because it's expected or because you feel guilty. Sometimes you have to put your financial health first.
Absolutely. And budgeting is a huge part of this. When I know exactly where my money's going, I'm more confident in saying no to things I can't afford. Whether it's a spontaneous trip, an expensive dinner out, or lending money to someone, I know what fits into my budget and what doesn't.
Yes, being financially disciplined gives you the power to say no without feeling bad about it. It's also about being honest. If you can't afford something or if something doesn't feel right, be honest with the other person. I think honesty and transparency can prevent a lot of unnecessary financial stress. So, to wrap it up, we've talked about managing your emotions, your physical energy, and your finances while interacting with others. The key is really finding that balance and staying true to yourself. Absolutely. It's all about boundaries in your emotions, your health, and your finances. And it's okay to take care of yourself first. You don't have to please everyone or overreact. Being clear with yourself about what you need and where your limits are will help you navigate life in a way that supports your well being.
Exactly. So remember, if you feel emotionally drained, physically exhausted, or financially stretched, it's time to check in with yourself. Are you setting the right boundaries? Are you giving yourself the space to recharge? Thanks for hanging out with us today. We hope these tips help you stay grounded and take care of yourself in all areas.
Areas of life. Don't forget, it's all about consistency, doing little things every day that protect your emotional, physical, and financial health. We'll catch you next time. Until then, take care of yourself. And don't forget, you've got this. Stay balanced, everyone.